Have you ever caught yourself staring at the ceiling, completely still on the outside, while inside your mind, a whole scene is happening? Someone says one sentence. You answer perfectly. Then they react. Then you explain yourself again. Then the scene changes. Now you are imagining a different version, where they misunderstand you. Then another version, where you walk away. Then another, where you finally say the thing you wish you had said 3 years ago. And the strangest part is, none of it is happening. No one is in the room. No conversation is taking place. Your phone is quiet. The day is normal. But your body is not acting like it is normal. Your chest tightens a little. Your jaw locks. Your stomach drops. Maybe your face even changes. As if you were responding to a person who is not actually there. Wait, here's the strange part. Your brain can react to an imagined scenario almost as if it is real. Because emotionally, it is not asking, is this happening? It is asking, could this matter? So before you judge yourself for imagining fake scenarios, understand this: you are not broken, dramatic, or secretly losing control of your mind. Your brain is doing something old, protective, and sometimes exhausting. It is trying to prepare you. It is trying to make uncertainty feel less uncertain. It is trying to give you control in places where you felt powerless before. Stay with this, because once you see the pattern, those fake scenarios stop feeling like proof that something is wrong with you, and start looking like signals you can actually work with. So today, we are talking about why you imagine fake scenarios. Not because you are weird. Not because you want stress. Not because you enjoy making yourself anxious. But because your mind has learned that rehearsing possible realities can feel safer than being surprised by real life. And later, in the next video, we are going one layer deeper into a very specific version of this: why your brain starts practicing conversations, comebacks, and arguments that never actually happen. Because fake scenarios are the movie. But rehearsed arguments? That is the courtroom inside your head. Now let's pull this apart carefully. Number 1. Fake scenarios are often your brain trying to predict emotional danger. Here is what it looks like. You send a message, and they do not reply quickly. Within minutes, your mind starts building scenes. Maybe they are annoyed. Maybe you said too much. Maybe they are pulling away. Maybe they are with someone else. Maybe you should have worded it differently. Nothing has happened yet, but your brain is already creating emotional possibilities. Here's what most people miss. The fake scenario is not always about the person. Sometimes it is about the feeling you are trying to avoid. Rejection, embarrassment, being ignored, being replaced, being misunderstood. Your brain does not like emotional surprise, so it tries to preview the pain before it arrives. Why does this happen? Because the brain is a prediction machine. It is constantly asking, what might happen next, and how do we survive it? If you grew up around criticism, inconsistency, sudden mood changes, or people who made you feel like love could disappear without warning, your brain may have learned to scan ahead. Not because you are negative. Because unpredictability trained you to prepare. The cost is that your present moment gets stolen by a future that may never happen. You are not actually solving the problem. You are emotionally living through 5 versions of it. And the switch is small but powerful. Instead of asking, what if this happens? Ask, what feeling am I trying to prepare for? That question brings you back from the movie to the emotion underneath it. Because once you name the feeling, the scenario loses some of its power. Number 2. Fake scenarios can be emotional rehearsal. This one is sneaky. Sometimes you are not imagining a fake scenario because you believe it will happen. You are imagining it because you are practicing how you would feel if it did. Maybe you imagine being successful, admired, chosen, defended, apologized to, or finally understood. Or maybe you imagine being abandoned, exposed, humiliated, or left out. The wild part is, both positive and negative fake scenarios can come from the same need: emotional rehearsal. Your brain is trying to test drive a feeling. What would it feel like if I finally got closure? What would it feel like if they came back? What would it feel like if I proved everyone wrong? What would it feel like if the worst thing happened, and I survived it? Why does this happen? Because imagined scenarios give your nervous system a simulation room. In that room, you can say the perfect thing, You can control the timing. You can make someone understand. You can rewrite the ending. For a moment, that can feel comforting. But here is the catch. If you stay in emotional rehearsal too long, your body may start confusing preparation with experience. You feel drained, even though nothing happened. You feel hurt, even though no one said the words. You feel victorious, even though nothing changed. The cost is emotional exhaustion without real-world movement. It gets weirder. Sometimes your brain gives you the emotional intensity of an event without giving you the actual growth that comes from living through it. So the switch is this. After a fake scenario starts, ask, is this helping me prepare? Or is it helping me avoid? If it helps you choose one clear action, it is useful. If it only loops and loops, it is avoidance wearing the mask of preparation. Number 3. Fake scenarios give you control when real life feels uncertain. Here is what it looks like. You replay a conversation before it happens. You imagine how someone might react. You create several versions of the same scene, each with a slightly different ending. In one version, you are calm. In another, you are defensive. In another, you finally say everything perfectly. And in another, they finally admit they were wrong. Wait, this is where it gets important. Your brain does not always want truth. Sometimes it wants control. And fake scenarios give you control over things that real life refuses to guarantee. People's reactions, timing, tone, closure, fairness, understanding. In your imagination, you can pause the scene, rewrite the dialogue, and make the other person finally see your point. Why does this happen? Because uncertainty is uncomfortable. For some people, uncertainty feels like mild discomfort. For overthinkers, uncertainty can feel like a threat. Especially if your past taught you that being unprepared led to pain, shame, punishment, or rejection. So your brain says, let's run the scene again. Maybe this time we can prevent the bad feeling. The cost is that you begin negotiating with imaginary people instead of living with real information. You are reacting to a version of someone that your fear created. That does not mean your fear is stupid. It means your fear is trying to fill in missing data. And this connects directly to what we will explore next. Why the mind sometimes starts drafting arguments, defenses, and perfect responses before anyone has even challenged you. Because when the brain cannot guarantee safety, it often starts preparing a case. The switch here is simple. Say to yourself, I do not need to solve a scene that has not happened. Not as a magic phrase. As a boundary with your imagination. Then bring yourself back to one fact you actually know. Not a prediction. Not a fear. One fact. They have not replied yet. That conversation has not happened. I do not know what they think. Facts calm the mind because they give it something solid to stand on. Number 4. Fake scenarios may be your unmet needs trying to speak. This is the part people often feel embarrassed about. Maybe you imagine someone apologizing to you. Maybe you imagine being chosen over someone else. Maybe you imagine becoming so successful that everyone who doubted you finally regrets it. Maybe you imagine a dramatic moment where someone realizes how badly they hurt you. And then you feel guilty for even thinking that way. But hold on. A fake scenario is not always a prediction. Sometimes it is a wish in disguise. It may be your mind's way of saying, I want to be seen. I want to be protected. I want someone to understand what this felt like. I want my pain to matter. That does not make you selfish. That makes you human. Why does this happen? Because the brain uses story to organize emotion. When a need has nowhere to go, it often becomes a scene. If you never got an apology, your mind may create one. If you never felt defended, your mind may create someone defending you. If you never felt chosen, your mind may create a moment where you finally are. Here's the part most people miss. The fake scenario is not the problem. The problem is when the scenario becomes the only place where the need is allowed to exist. The cost is that you may start waiting for imaginary repair instead of giving yourself real support. You may keep replaying the fantasy of being understood while never saying, I need to be understood. In real life, the switch is to translate the scene into a need. Ask, what is this scenario giving me emotionally? Validation? Safety? Closure? Recognition? Comfort? Then ask, what is one real way I can give myself a piece of that? Maybe it is journaling the truth without editing it. Maybe it is having one honest conversation. Maybe it is setting a boundary. Maybe it is admitting, I am still hurt, instead of pretending you are over it. That is the superpower hidden inside this pattern. People who imagine deeply often notice emotional details other people miss. You can sense tension. You can read patterns. You can imagine outcomes. That sensitivity is not useless. It just needs leadership. Number 5. Fake scenarios become a problem when they replace action, rest, or reality. Let's be honest. Some fake scenarios feel addictive. Not because they are fun. Exactly. But because they give your mind something to do. When life feels boring, uncertain, lonely, or emotionally unfinished, the mind may create intensity. A fake conversation. A fake betrayal. A fake reunion. A fake victory. A fake disaster. And suddenly, your inner world feels more charged than your real life. But here is the danger. Your brain can start preferring the controllable intensity of imagination over the messy uncertainty of action. In your head, you can be brave. In real life, you have to risk being misunderstood. In your head, you can get closure. In real life, someone may not give it to you. In your head, you can win the argument. In real life, peace may matter more than winning. Why does this happen? Because imagined scenarios are low risk emotionally. Even when they are stressful, you get intensity without vulnerability. But the cost is quiet. You lose sleep. You lose focus. You lose presence. You may even start feeling suspicious or resentful toward people who have not actually done what your mind imagined. That is when fake scenarios need a boundary. Not shame. A boundary. The switch is to use a 3-step reset. First, label it. This is a scenario. Second, locate it. Where do I feel this in my body? Third, choose one next real thing. Drink water. Reply to the actual message. Step outside. Write one sentence. Finish the task in front of you. Your brain does not need a 20-step life plan. It needs proof that reality is still available. And if this kind of clarity helps, you will probably like what we do here. This channel is about turning confusing inner patterns into simple language you can actually use. Imagine this. It is 11:47 at night. Maya is lying in bed, phone on her chest, screen dark. Earlier that day, she sent a simple message to a friend. Are we okay? You seemed a little distant. No reply. At first, she tells herself, they are probably busy. But 5 minutes later, her mind opens the first scene. Her friend is annoyed. They are showing the message to someone else. They are saying Maya is too sensitive. Then the next scene appears. Maya imagines herself explaining everything perfectly. She is calm, mature, clear. Her friend finally understands. Then another scene. The friend replies coldly. Maya gets defensive. The conversation turns into a fight. Then another. Maya cuts them off completely and feels powerful for 10 seconds. But her body does not feel powerful. Her shoulders are tight. Her stomach feels heavy. She is not resting. She is not solving. She is just living inside possible versions of tomorrow. Here is the turning point. Instead of asking, what are they thinking? Maya asks, what feeling am I trying to prepare for? The answer comes fast. I am scared of being too much. That is the real scene. Not the message. Not the friend. Not the imaginary argument. The fear of being too much. So she puts the phone down and writes one sentence in her notes. I can ask for clarity without punishing myself for needing it. Nothing magical happens. The friend does not instantly reply. The universe does not send a dramatic sign. But Maya's mind slows down. Because she stopped fighting the fake scenario and started listening to the emotion underneath it. And this is exactly why the next video matters. Because sometimes, the fake scenario becomes even sharper. Your brain starts rehearsing the argument. The comeback, the defense, the proof. That is not random either. That has a pattern. So let's reframe this. Imagining fake scenarios does not mean you are weak. It means your brain is trying to reduce uncertainty, process emotion, and protect you from surprise. But protection can become a prison when it never turns off. So here is one tiny action you can do today. The next time a fake scenario starts, do not immediately argue with it. Pause and say, "This is a scenario, not a fact." Then ask, "What feeling is this scenario trying to help me handle?" That one question turns overthinking into information. And once you have information, you have a choice. For the next 24 hours, catch one fake scenario and write the feeling underneath it. Then comment scenario if you want more videos like this. And subscribe so you do not miss the next one. Because it connects directly to this. Why your brain rehearses arguments that never happen. End screen. Tap the video on screen and let's follow the pattern together. I'll see you in the next one. With a clearer mind than before.